Hello, Dad. This is Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast, and today's topic is this: long leash or short leash parenting. Let's do it.
Hi, my name's Nico, and you're listening to my dad, Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast. Thanks for listening. Pretty good. Now can we listen to it?
Yep. So this concept of long leash, short leash parenting, I get that term is not a great one because it kind of implies that your kid's a dog, which of course your kid's not a dog. They're different, but that concept comes up a lot as far as like how much leeway you give your kid when they're doing things, how much you're trusting in them, how much you're protecting them, whatever side you fall on it. So this came to mind yesterday when I was at the beach with Nico. We went down, put all our toys and blankets and all that kind of stuff out, went down to the water, and then Nico just wanted to walk like ankle, knee deep in the water up and down the beach. So we were doing that together and then playing in a certain area, and we'd walked kind of far away from our home base. And on this day, there weren't many people on the beach. The tide was out. All those things I say because on our way back, Nico wanted to just run and not run away from me in that kind of sense, because that's happened a million times where I'm having a truck after him because he's just bolting for the sake of bolting and getting away from me. But this time he just wanted to run, and I didn't really feel like running. My ankle's kind of tweaked. I'm trying to get into trail running shape for a 10K I committed to in a couple months, and my ankle's just a little tweaked. So I didn't feel like running. So I was just letting him go. And he just started getting further and further and further away. And so I am definitely a long leash dad. I give Nico a lot of leeway on doing things. It's perceived and I'm criticized at times about being negligent, and I just don't pay attention to things, and he's all over the place. And he is all over the place in that he's exploring and everything. He's definitely a good kid and that he's respectful. I don't mean all over the place and that he's a spaz, but like, say if we're in the backyard, like I'll let him play and I know where he's at, but I'll go do something in the garage, and then a couple minutes later I come and I check and everything, but he doesn't have to be by my side all the time. And so here at the beach, I imagined a very, very long leash going between me and him, and it was a 50-yard leash. He was really far down the beach. And at the same time, I was assessing, all right, if something happened, how long would it take me to get to him? That's what's going through my mind. And what would happen is going through my mind. So in that criticism that I get where I'm too long leashed and, I'm not protecting him enough, all those kind of things, I am in the back of my head or in the front of my mind assessing of how close he should be to me and how close I should be to him should he need me or I need to protect him or save him from something, or how dangerous the situation is, whether or not it's okay to do it. In worst case scenario, what's going to happen, and is that okay or not okay? And I make that decision. So in this beach run, he was pretty far away, but even with my tweaked ankle, I'm like, all right, it's going to take me 5 seconds to get to where he is. And I'm really bad at judging distances, so getting 50 yards in 5 seconds sounds, I don't even know if that's fast or not. But anyway, I had determined I was about 5 seconds away, and the worst case scenario was in the ankle deep water that he's in, he'd trip and he'd fall and he'd splash, or he'd hit like a trough, a little a hole that makes him go from ankle deep water to knee deep water, and he'd fall. He's not going to drown or anything like that. So I was like, all right, he's fine with that. The worst case scenario is he gets even more wet than he already is, which that's not a problem. The other scenario I'm definitely running in my long leash parenting is What if somebody comes up to him and there's some sort of threat from another person? Again, I'm 5 seconds away, but in allowing him to go further and further on that long leash, I'm also determining, all right, there's not many people around here. Those are parents playing with their kids. This is, an elderly couple just going for a walk. There didn't seem to be any threats. And on top of it, the area we live in, it's just not a dangerous area. Like, it's a really safe area. I mean, life stuff happens, of course, but we're good. So all of those things are going into my decision-making process of allowing that leash to go longer and longer. And then he stopped and he found some shells and rocks that he wanted to play with. And so I caught up a bit, and then he looked up and he's like, Dad, come look at this. And so I went over to him, and everything was fine. But I know there's times where both parents or the two parents have very different philosophies on this. And as you can tell, like, I'm in that situation as well. I'm a long leasher. And he goes, Mom is not that. And all of that's okay as long as it doesn't become a huge confrontation, bone of contention continuously. So there's definitely, when we're all together, I'll be slightly different and like rein things in a little bit more, but I still allow him to play and explore and learn rather than directing him or needing to be by his side. I want him to be independent. I want him to be adventurous. I want him to be safe, of course, and I believe that I do that. So as far as you, Dad, like, are you a long leasher or a short leasher? The typical answer is that dads are long leashers and they just like let their kids do whatever, and then moms are the short leashers and they have to like pick up the pieces and put band-aids on them getting hurt because dad's being negligent. That's stereotypical and obviously extreme and dramatic. But I also do know a lot of dads like that our friends here in the neighborhood or others that I would describe them as short leashers. They definitely want to keep tabs on and rein them in. And I think that's fine. I totally think that's fine. I don't think they're doing their kid a disservice. It's just my way of doing things is more of trusting him, making sure the environment he's in is safe. I'm not going to like let him wander into traffic or let him go explore in a crowd where I'm not going to be able to get to him or much more likelihood of danger happening. I'm not being negligent in any way, but I want him to know that I'm close and that he's safe in that way. And he will check in with me. Like even with that run, he would look back from time to time to make sure I was still there and look around. So he knows he's safe. And then he has that security to go explore the world in the way that he wants. And then what I find is he wants to come back and share that world that he learned about on his own. And he's proud of himself. It builds confidence. It builds self-reliance, independence. And I find it to be really bonding as well because I'm there and I'm overseeing and I'm providing a protective space, although that protective space has a much wider radius than a short leasher. But I love seeing him figure things out on his own and check things out on his own. And even if he didn't do this, I'd be totally okay with that. But I also love that he comes back and wants to share it with me and then bring me to it and check out all the cool things that he just found on his own or that he learned how to do on his own by jumping off of something or whatever it might be that's like physically explored or even playing with toys and the like. He comes up with new things because he's figuring it out on his own. It's so cool. So obviously I'm a long leasher. I'm a fan of it. I think our kids can be trusted way more than they're given credit for sometimes, and I think that kind of, what does it do? It like instills a dependence. It kind of creates a feeling of like I can't go do anything without mom or dad by my side, and like that short leash comes from love and wanting to protect them and wanting the best for them. It's just in a different way. So I'm curious. Are you a long leasher or a short leasher? Let me know. I want to know, and what your experience has been with it. And put your experience down in the Facebook group for other dads to get a check and see what other dads are doing, and it'll help reinforce or learn some things about their own style that they can incorporate some new things. So anyway, until next time, take good care of yourself, take great care of your families, and we'll connect on the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. You can hang out with other dads in our Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for the Dadhood Journey, and apply to get in. See you there, and see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening.